Okay, hello everyone. So this discussion is focused on deductions from gross income. So yung mga items na pag-uusapan natin dito ay ibabawas sa gross income to arrive sa taxable income in addition to other deductions. So in this part, we will discuss the itemized deduction, optional standard deduction, fringe benefits tax, and de minimis benefits. For itemized deduction, so ito yung usually na alam natin na binabawas na expenses from our income. So we have expenses in general, interest, taxes, losses, bad debts, depreciation and depletion, pension trusts, research and development, and charitable and other contributions. So first, let's discuss expenses in general. First requisite para mabawas siya sa ating taxable income is it should be ordinary and necessary. Paano ba natin masasabi na ordinary and necessary? So, syempre, dapat may kaugnayan yung expense sa business. Hindi kasama yung personal expenses ng ating taxpayer. And syempre, necessary sa daily operations ng business. Second, it should be paid or incurred during the taxable year. So para din siyang sa financial accounting. Yung expenses for a certain accounting period, yun lang din ang i-declare natin as expenses para sa period na yon. Next, ayan, connected with trade, business, or profession. So dito na lalabas yung owner's entity concept. Dapat yung mga expenses lang ng business ang ating i-recognize as expenses. Pang-apat, ayan, supported by sufficient evidence. So dito mahigpit ang BIR. Dito nagkakaiba ang income ng financial accounting at saka ng taxation accounting. Kasi halimbawa, meron tayong mga evidence ng expenses na okay lang sa management pero hindi okay when it comes to the BIR reporting. So sa BIR, hindi nila inaalaw, hindi nila tinatanggap as expense yung mga evidence na hindi official receipt or sales invoice. So this year, 2024, nag-issue na ng guidelines ang BIR na dapat invoice na lang daw yung gagamitin. So if ever may mga expenses yung company na hindi supported by invoice, hindi natin dapat yun ibawas sa ating taxable or sa ating expenses na ibabawas sa gross income. Kasi kapag binawas natin yon, i-disregard yun ng BIR. So, ang lalabas, mas malaki dapat pala yung ating taxable income. So, ayun, dapat supported by sufficient evidence na naaayon sa requirements ng BIR. And that should be ang ating invoice. And last, ayan, not against the law or public policy. So, syempre, yung mga illegal expenses, hindi sila allowed as deduction. So, those are the requisites for deductibility under expenses in general. Okay, sa ngayon, isa-isahin natin yung mga expenses in general. First, we have traveling expenses. So, ano bang guideline? So, una daw, ayan, it includes transportation expenses, meals, lodging, and laundry expenses. So, kapag may empleyado ang company na nagta-travel, pwede siyang ibawas sa gross income ng company. So, it should be incurred while away from the taxpayer's home. Yan. Paano naman daw yung entertainment, amusement, and recreation expenses? So, normally, ang tawag dito ay representation expenses. Okay, so first requisite, it should be paid or incurred during the taxable year. So, same lang din as general guidelines. And directly connected to the development, management, and operation or directly related to or in furtherance of the conduct of his or its trade or profession. So, halimbawa, nakipag-meeting ka sa clients. So, syempre, kailangan mong i-entertain yung mga clients mo. So, yung mga expenses na nagamit doon, pwede siyang ibawas sa ating gross income. Must not have been paid directly or indirectly to an office official of the government, including foreign officials, or private entity if it constitutes a bribe, kickback, or other similar payment. So, hindi daw pwede yung mga bribe. Hindi siya pwedeng ibawas as a recreation or representation expense. Ayan. Next, not contrary to law, morals, public policy, or public order. And syempre, duly substantiated by proof. So, alam natin yan yung mga resibo. Okay? So, another guideline ng BIR, ang pwede daw nating i-claim na entertainment, amusement, and recreation expenses must not exceed 0.5% of net sales or 1% of net revenue for taxpayers engaged in sales of goods or properties or sales of services respectively. So, ulitin natin, kapag daw yung business ay engaged in sales of goods, may maximum siya na pwedeng i-claim. Okay, kapag sales of goods nga, 0.5% of net sales lang. And kapag services naman, ito ay 1% of net revenue. So, halimbawa, ang representation expense mo is 100,000. Pero ang 1/2 of net sales lang, halimbawa, is 50,000. So, ang pwede mo lang ibawas ay yung 50,000. So, dyan nagkakaiba yung accounting income and taxable income. Kaya yung mga tao madalas na hindi nakakaintindi, ang iniisip nila, yung mga accountant gumagawa ng dalawang libro kasi dinadaya. Pero the reason for that is, magkaiba kasi yung requirement ng BIR sa alam natin sa GAA. So, kailangan nating sumunod sa batas ng BIR kasi kung hindi, magkakaroon tayo ng mga tax penalties and surcharges. Pero nagkakaroon naman yan ng reconciliation yung dalawa. Pero ang question dito, paano daw kung yung taxpayer engaged in both sales of goods and services? Kapag ganun daw, the allowable deduction shall be based on an apportionment formula. So parang i-prorated yung income nung from sales of goods and from sales of services. But in no case shall it exceed the maximum percentage ceiling. Okay, so paano daw sa bribes, kickbacks, and other similar payments? So general guideline, di ba, hindi daw pwede yung contrary sa law and morals and public policy. So, hindi sila deductible. Another, para daw sa private educational institutions. So, ito yung mga costs incurred for the expansion of school facilities. So, yung mga private and educational institutions, pwede nilang i-capitalize. Ibig sabihin, i-recognize nila as asset yung mga expansion expenses and claim as depreciation. Or pwede din na expenditures during the taxable year. So, halimbawa, yung private educational institution nagpa-repair ng building worth 500,000, pwede nilang idagdag yun sa worth ng building and i-depreciate using yung guidelines na ginagamit nila sa depreciation. And, or pwede din nilang i-claim na as expense yung 500,000 kung kailan yun na nagastos. Okay, non-deductible expenses. Ayan, personal living and family expenses. Amount paid for new buildings or for permanent improvements or betterments made to increase the value of any property or estate. So, halimbawa, gumawa ka ng bakod para lumaki, para tumaas yung value ng lupa mo, hindi daw yun pwedeng i-claim as expense. Amount expended in restoring property or in making good exhaustion thereof, for which an allowance is or has been made. So halimbawa, nag-set aside ka na ng fund for that expansion, kapag nagamit na yon, hindi na pwedeng i-deduct as expense. For interest, ayan, there must be an indebtedness. May utang dapat yung business muna bago siya mag-claim ng interest expense. Pangalawa, syempre, dapat utang yun ng taxpayer. The indebtedness is connected with the taxpayer's trade, business, or profession. So, ginamit niya yung utang para sa kanyang business or profession, hindi for personal use. Ayan, may legal liability to pay interest, and it must be paid or incurred during the taxable year. Reduction of interest expense by interest income. So sabi daw, the taxpayer's interest expense shall be reduced by an amount equivalent to 20% of interest income subjected to final tax. However, if the final withholding tax rate on interest income of 20% will be adjusted in the future, the interest expense reduction shall be adjusted accordingly. Interest incurred or paid by the taxpayer on all unpaid business-related taxes shall be deductible from gross income and shall not be subject to the limitation on deduction. So halimbawa daw ay yung mga taxes na ay mga interest sa late tax payments ng taxpayer ay pwede ding ibawas as interest expense. Optional treatment of interest. At the option of the taxpayer, interest incurred to acquire property used in trade, business, or exercise of profession may be allowed as deduction or as a capital expenditure. Ayan, non-deductible interest, interest on loan between related taxpayers. So, kapag kasali din dito, halimbawa, parent-subsidiary relationship, branch and home office. So, ayan, hindi pwede daw i-deduct as interest expense yung mga interest sa utang nila sa isa't isa. Interest on loan paid in advance through discount by individual reporting income on cash basis. If indebtedness is incurred to finance petroleum operations. For taxes, ayan, it should be paid or incurred within the taxable year, connected with taxpayers' profession, trade, or business, and imposed directly on the taxpayer. So, similar lang doon sa general guidelines natin. Okay, ito naman daw yung mga non-deductible taxes, mga hindi natin pwedeng ibawas. Philippine income tax or yung ating ITR, income tax return. Foreign income tax if claimed as tax credit. So, applicable to sa resident citizen and mga domestic corporation. So, syempre, di ba, kung halimbawa may income sila sa ibang bansa, tapos binayaran na nila yung tax doon. And pag-compute ng tax dito sa Pilipinas, kasama pa yung income nila sa labas ng bansa, pwede nilang ibawas yung nabayaran na nilang taxes. Yun yung tinatawag na tax credit. Hindi din daw pwedeng ibawas ang estate and owner's tax and special assessments. Okay, additional information for tax credit. It is the taxpayer's right to deduct from income tax due the amount of tax he has paid to a foreign country, subject to limitations. Okay, so ito yung mga pwedeng makaklaim ng tax credit. Resident citizens, domestic corporations, members of GPP, beneficiaries of estate or trust. Okay, recall din ang tinatawag natin na tax benefit rule. Taxes claimed as deduction when refunded or credited shall be included as part of gross income in the year of receipt to the extent of the income tax benefit of said deduction. Losses, yung mga lugi. Requisites for deductibility actually sustained during the taxable year. So, nalugi ka talaga dapat nung taon na yon. Not compensated by insurance or other forms of indemnity. So, example pala dito sa mga losses natin, halimbawa, ayan, minaha, nasunog, okay, incurred in connection with trade, profession, or business, sustained in a closed and completed transaction, arose from fires, storms, shipwreck, or other casualties, or pwede din from robbery, theft, or embezzlement. And dapat daw not claimed as deduction for estate tax purposes. And ito yung importante na madalas na overlook ng taxpayers natin. Kung meron tayong mga losses, it should be reported to the BIR within 45 days from the occurrence of such loss. So, paano ba i-report? So, based on our experience, gagawa dapat ang taxpayer ng affidavit. Ipapanotarize yon and magsasubmit ng copy sa BIR. So, gagawa ka ng affidavit na nabaha po kami, nawala yung aming mga inventory. Ayan. So, kailangan i-report sa BIR within 45 days. Otherwise, hindi nyo makiklaim as deduction yung losses. Special rules on losses. Ayan, meron tayong tinatawag na wagering loss. So, ano ba yung wagering loss? From the word wager. Ayan, di ba? Wager, pumupusta ka. So, in other words, ito yung natalo ka sa gambling. Ayan. Deductible only to the extent of the gains from such transactions. Loss on sale between related taxpayers are not deductible. Voluntary removals of buildings. Pandaw if the taxpayer purchased the land without intending to use the building. The value of all building raised plus other costs are added to the cost of the land. Paano naman kapag tinanggal or dinemolish yung old building para magpatayo ng bago? The value of the building demolished plus demolition costs are deductible as losses. So, tandaan po natin, ito yung rule sa ating Internal Revenue Code. Loss on shrinkage in value of stocks due to fluctuation in market. Paano daw kung bumaba yung market value ng ating stocks? It is not deductible. The loss allowed is that actually suffered when the stocks are disposed of. So kapag binenta mo na, pero pag paper loss, hindi pa pwedeng ibawas. Abandonment losses. Okay, so ito yung ginagamit na term kapag halimbawa merong exploration activity, halimbawa naghuhukay kayo ng lupa para gumawa ng well, deep well ng balon, tapos bigla siyang inabandon, hindi tinuloy. Okay, when a producing well is abandoned, the unamortized costs thereof and the undepreciated costs of equipment directly used therein are deductible in the year of abandonment. Siyempre, kapag naghuhukay ka ng lupa, may mga machine na ginagamit. So, yung depreciation daw nun, pwedeng i-claim as loss in the year of abandonment. But if the service is restored later, tinuloy lang daw, said cost shall be included as part of gross income and shall be amortized or depreciated. So, hindi na siya outright expense, kundi i-amortize or i-depreciate na kapag tinuloy yung paghukay ng lupa. So, applicable din to dun sa mga nag-explore, mga oil exploration, mga ganon. Okay, net operating loss. Paano daw kapag may loss talaga or nalugi talaga yung company? The excess of allowable deduction over gross income of the business in a taxable year can be carried over as deduction from gross income of the next 3 succeeding years. However, operating losses incurred in 2020 and 2021, yung time ng pandemic to, shall be allowed as carryover and deducted from gross income in the next 5 consecutive taxable years. Ayan, bad debts. Requisites for deductibility. It must be a valid and subsisting debt. Debt is ascertained to be worthless and uncollectible. Halimbawa, nag-declare na as bankruptcy yung nagkakautang sa company. Charged off during the taxable year. So, in accounting term, dapat daw na write-off na. And connected with trade, profession, or business. And dapat daw hindi siya between members of the same family or related taxpayers. For depreciation, ayan, there must be an exhaustion, wear and tear, including reasonable allowance for obsolescence. So yung BIR daw, ang inaalaw lang nilang depreciation methods are straight line method, declining balance method, sum of years digit method, and other methods prescribed by the Secretary of Finance upon recommendation of the Commissioner. And syempre, dapat yung property na dine-depreciate is used in business and merong reasonable allowance for depreciation. For depletion naman, ito yung ginagamit, ito yung counterpart ng depreciation kung ang pinag-uusapan natin is about natural resources like mines, yung mga minahan, gas wells, as well as production or severance from mines or wells. So, ang rules, ang method lang daw ng depreciation na allowed, our depletion is cost depletion method. And when the allowance shall equal the capital invested, no additional allowance shall be granted. Pension trusts. Ito naman kung merong mga pension plan yung employees ng company. Ayan, employer must have established a pension or retirement plan. Ibig sabihin, meron ng established na trust fund kasi itong mga retirement plan, binabawas to sa sahod ng employee and minsan may share yung company and pinapasok siya sa bangko under a trust fund. So, the pension plan must be reasonable, funded by the employer, and the amount contributed by the employer must no longer be subject to his control. So, ito yung nasa trust fund na hindi dapat galawin, hindi yan pwedeng bawasan ng company. For research and development, it should be paid or incurred during the taxable year. And syempre, connected with trade, business, or profession. So, ano daw pwedeng gawin ng company dito? It can be treated as ordinary and necessary expenses. And kapag ganon, ibabawas na siya sa gross income kung kailan siya na gastos. Pwede din daw siyang i-treat as deferred expenses. So, para siyang i-amortize within 6 months. For charitable and other contributions, paano daw kapag nag-donate yung company? Kailan daw yan ba pwedeng ibawas sa kanilang gross income? So, number 1, same sa general rules natin, it must be actually paid or made within the taxable year. Given to entity or institution specified by law. So, merong mga given or may mga list ng companies kung saan yung donation sa kanila is pwedeng ibigay or claim as deduction. And net income of the institution must not inure to the benefit of any private individual or stockholder. And the taxpayer making contribution must be engaged in trade, profession, or business. So, para daw yung contributions natin mabawas ng buo sa ating gross income, it should be made to the government of the Philippines or any of its agencies or political subdivisions or fully owned government corporations. Kasama din daw yung donations to certain foreign institutions or international organizations and mga NGO na nag-ooperate for scientific, research, educational, character building, and youth and sports development, health, social welfare, cultural, charitable, or a combination thereof. So, yung mga contributions sa mga institution na yon, deductible in full. Pwede mong ibawas sa gross income mo yung buong amount na dinonate mo sa kanila. Conditions: that donation must be utilized not later than 15th day of the third month after the close of taxable year. And administration expenses must not exceed 30% of total expense. Kapag daw hindi nasunod yung conditions na yon, hindi na pwedeng i-deduct in full yung donation. Ito na yung mga limit. Ayan. So, contributions subjected to limit. Contributions are gifts actually paid to or for the use of the government of the Philippines, agencies or political subdivisions of the government, accredited domestic corporations or associations, organized and operated exclusively for religious, charitable, scientific, youth and sports development, cultural, educational, rehabilitation of veterans, social welfare institutions, and non-government organizations. So, yung mga entities dito na kasama dun sa list kanina, magiging subject sila sa limit kapag hindi nila na-meet yung requisites for deductibility. Okay, for individual taxpayer, ang limitation daw is 10% and for corporation, 5%. So, saan ba yan kagamitin? Saan i-multiply? The rate shall be multiplied by the taxable income derived from trade, business, or profession before deducting the contributions. Okay, so that's all for the itemized deductions. So make sure to read the module accompanying this presentation for additional information. Thank you.